Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that rule over that great millstone that teaches His word. Peace and salutation to all the Akim out there pushing His gospel in sincerity and truth. Say shalom to the humble and sincere sisters out there as well. Shalom to the nation of Israel. We're coming up with this lesson entitled Christ was a so-called black man. Right? Because the description of Christ in the Bible and the description of Christ that we see in paintings, right, in pictures and stuff, it's two different descriptions, right? Because the Bible shows us that Yahushai, right, the person that you refer to as Jesus Christ, his real name is Yahushai because he was a Hebrew Israelite, he was a Jew, right? The language that we spoke was Hebrew, right? And his name is Yahushai, not Jesus Christ. You understand? He is a so-called black man, right? The scriptures give us the definition, the description of his skin color, of his hair texture, right? But for some reason, he is depicted as a so-called white man, which is Esau, right? The Edomites. He is depicted as being an Edomite. And this all started during the Renaissance period, right? So I bet you pull it up real quick and say, the Renaissance was a period in European history marking the transition from the Middle Ages to modernity and covering the 15th and 16th centuries. It occurred after the crisis of the late Middle Ages and was associated with great social change. Right? Come down here, it say the name Renaissance is a French word translating to rebirth. It symbolized the beginning of a new era of art, rebirthing the classical models of ancient Greek and Rome periods while using the modern techniques. Right? So it's within these times, right, during the Renaissance times, where they begin to whitewash paintings and they begin to depict everyone as being Edomites, to look like them, right? So they say that the Israelites had kind of red skin and blonde hair and blue eyes, and they say that Yahushai, they depict the God, the Most High, the Heavenly Father, as being a white man to look like them. They depict everything, all great men, of the scriptures, right? All the prophets, everything, they depict them as being Edomites. And the reason is for this is they did this so that they could gain control. Because if the so-called black man, the blacks, Hispanics, and the natives were to believe that Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, if they were to believe that he looks like a so-called white man and that the Father in heaven looks like a so-called white man, then it would be easy for these Edomites to enslave us on a mental level, because you see now the greatest, the creator, the eternal creator looks like these Edomites, and then it's easy to to praise them as gods and to look upon them as being images of the Most High, right? And that is just completely wrong, right? The Most High doesn't look like a Edomite, nor did his son look like a Edomite, nor do the Israelites look like Edomites. We are the Israelites, the so-called black Hispanics, natives, right? We are the chosen of the Bible. We are the Israelites, the chosen people that the Bible speaks of. You understand? Not these Edomites. And I will go into the scriptures and prove it. to the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. We start at verse 1. It say, the revelation of Yahushai, Mashiach, right? Revelation means to reveal, the revealing of Yahushua HaMashiach, which the Mosai gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. Right? No, and they like to say nobody never see Yahushua. But look at saying here that the revealing of Yahushua HaMashiach was made known unto John, unto his servant John. And not just John, right? Yahushua walked amongst men, right? He walked amongst his disciples, he walked amongst the congregation, right? The scribes and the Pharisees. He walked amongst people. People saw him. You understand? So it's not like he was invisible. You know, they come up with all these stupid lies, you know, and the masses fall into these lies because the Messiah really give them the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you know, so they fall into these delusions. Alright, so now go to verse 14. It say, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So let me break down the first part in verse 14. It says his head and his hairs were white like wool. So it was white in color and woolly in texture, right? So let me go to that and see what comes up, right? So okay, this is so like I'm going into a hair disease, right? This is true depictions here. This is what woolly hair looks like, right? Afro textured hair, right? You know, this is how Yahushua hair looked, and you see how the teachers they hate ourselves. You know, the teachers that are here, it I forget the word they say, picky, right? You know, in Trinidad they say your hair picky or your hair hard, your head hard, nigger hair. You know, you hear Israelite women saying they don't want to give birth to a child with hard head. You know, referring to this woolly hair, right? And that, you know, some of them they say that they want to go with a heathen, a Elamite or a Edomite, you know, so that the child here could come out good. So we see here that Esau has planted seeds of hatred, you understand, within ourselves, within us, you know, right? So if you look at this woman here, it say his head and his hairs were white like wool, white in color and woolly in texture. So this is a real good example of how the Yahushua's hair looked, right? White in color and woolly in texture, right? You know, the teachers that, you know, they change, they portray his hair as being straight, you know, because Edomites hair straight, and you know, you see now a woman buying weave. I mean, if the so-called black woman didn't exist, then these weave companies wouldn't have any income, because the majority of their customers is the so-called black woman. The majority of Israelite women buy weave because they hate their own hair, whether they admit to it or not. Subconsciously, they hate how they look, right? Like this, how she has her hair, right? You know, this in society's eyes, this is unprofessional, this is ugly, right? This is not well groomed, da da da. But this is our hair. And we have hair like Yahushai. because he was one of us. He is an Israelite. You understand? Alright, so back in Revelation 1 verse 14, it says, his head and his hairs are white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes was a flame of fire. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. Right, so we know that when you look at your feet, the color of your feet, right, and the color of your hands, the color of your stomach, the color of your back, the color of your face, your neck, your shoulders, right, is one color, right, because it's of one flesh, right. So you wouldn't, unless you have a skin disease or some sort of uncleanness, your legs wouldn't be a different color to your hands, which wouldn't be a different color to your face. So whatever Yahushua's skin color of his feet was, so was his face and the rest of his body. And you just had to break down these things, as if you're speaking to little children, because people, I remember hearing a time that somebody said that was just his feet, not his face. So that was, I say, I have to break it down so simple. Right, but let me go and see, let me look at brass. Right, this is brass, brown, right, not red. Look at the color of brass, right, and now you look at the color of burnt brass. This is the color of burnt brass here, right. Look at here on the left, burnt brass, black, right, very dark brown. Look at burnt brass here. So we see that Yahushua, he was a dark Israelite. You understand? Right here, look how we see in here. It's a very dark color. Right, so let me look at this homosexual they like to call Christ. So we see in here that number one, his head and his hairs are not white like wool. It's not white in color. It is not white in color, and it's not woolly in texture. Because we already know what woolly hairs look like. The so-called black man's hair, right? So that is one strike. We see in here also that his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace. We saw the color of what burnt brass is, very dark brown. And we see in here that this person's skin is red, right? So this is not Yahushua. This is not, and you see, you go through these Catholic churches, they say the color doesn't matter, right? So why is it if I type up Jesus Christ, this is all I see? You understand? They say that he have no color, right? And that nobody saw him. Yet, this is what I see. I could continue to scroll. This is all that I see. Your red skin, straight-haired Edomite with blue eyes, and they push this in schools, they push this wherever gatherings, wherever learning, you could say, takes place, in churches, in schools. You understand? They push this onto us from a very young age, right? I remember when I was small and I was praying, this is what I thought of in my head. This is what I saw. This faggot is what I saw, right? But this is what Yahushua actually looks like. This is what the so-called Jesus Christ looks like, right? This is what Yahushua look like. I'm not saying that this is Yahushua. What I'm saying is that this is a true depiction of Yahushua. Skin like burnt brass. Head of his hairs. So like his head on his hairs. Or white like wool, right? White in color, woolly in texture. Right? Just like, the so-called blacks. This is what Yahushua look like. Right? And as Yahushua say, whoever seen him, seen the Father. I could now go to the book of Acts and dive deeper into it. The Acts chapter 13 verse 1, it say, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger. Right? They say they were called Niger. They say in its original English language usage, nigger, then spelled Niger, was a word for a dark-skinned individual. You understand? So we see here, plain as day, that these men, these prophets, these teachers were called niggers. You understand? Why were they called niggers? With no say. Dark-skinned individual. And nothing is new under the sun. They call us niggers to this day. And not just the prophets in Israel on a whole. We are called niggers to this day. Right? It's plain as day. They wouldn't bring out these kind of scriptures in these churches. They wouldn't try to bring out any truth in these churches, because these churches don't have truth. Right? Those churches are full of sinners, whorehouse. You understand? Why wouldn't they teach, the young ones, the true description of the Most High and His Son Yahushua? Why don't it come in the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? Because they don't care. They don't have any truth in them. And our people, that's just because of the curses. Our people, are fully, they deep in Christianity, in Islam, and all these other religions, but they don't stand with the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And we all know it's because the spirit is not on them. But such things go. Go to the book of Daniel and I'll close it off here. 7 verse 9. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Right? His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Right? So we see here again the Ancient of Days, right? Most High. It says head like the pure wool. So the Most High have here like pure wool. You understand? Hey, look at that. You understand? Look at that, my boy. All praises to Yahweh Shemi Oshai. This is what the Most High here looks like. This is what his son here looked like. This is what the Hebrew Israelites, right, the 12 tribes of Israel from within the Bible, which are us. You understand? This is what our here looks like. These Edomites, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Yahweh Yahushai, right? The Father and the Son. They don't look like these Edomites. They don't have straight hair and blue eyes and blonde hair and red skin, right? They look like the so-called black man, right? And with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. Give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakudash. Shalom, Israel.